All right. So we are going to be having these sessions for 7 weeks. So up until October 6th, I believe it is. And at that point, we're going to switch to kind of an every other week situation. But the reason we wanted to do this is because my co-presenter, Jenny from the Caledon office, and myself we attended the Train the Trainer event from Remax Canada. We learned all the really good things about BoldTrail, the things that agents are not utilizing, and we want to make sure that you guys are all up to speed with everything that's going on, especially some changes. I know that people have been asking me about Skyview and how that differs from Max Center. So we're going to get into all of that today. The other reason I wanted to do it this way is because agents have come to me asking for leveled training. So to really start at the beginning and then work our way up. So by the end, our sessions are really in depth and we really get to know the system. So outcomes to learning, there's learning to know and learning to grow. What we want to do is we want to learn to grow. So that is the point of doing these live drives, is that you have all of the information in front of you. You have your devices in front of you so you can follow along. Again, you can also go back to the video recording, which some of you may be doing now, and you can live drive with us. Mastering technology is not easy, especially when it's always changing. So we can do sessions like this, we can study, we can watch the videos and everything, but nothing really happens unless you practice it. And practicing comes with mistakes, and we all make mistakes. I know I've had my fair share, especially when it comes to technology. I've had people message me or call me saying, you misspelled this word, or you did this, and it's like, oh no, I have to go fix it. But it happens all the time, and we want to make sure that we're providing you sessions to get you to practice, but also get you to understand that you have to take action and do these things if you want to learn them, right? And you can always reach out to your branch administrators, myself, anyone that is on your leadership team, your support team is there to help you with this kind of stuff. And if they can't do it themselves, then they will find somebody like myself to get in touch with you and either book a one-on-one or some type of Zoom situation. The Remax technology suite, again, is always changing, but it's always changing for the better. It's always in respect to how can we provide you with more opportunities to connect with people, to build your business, to get you more leads. So throughout these 7 weeks, we're going to be diving into your Remax website that's given to you by your brokerage, the lead engine tools that are provided through the BoldTrail account, your smart CRM that is always adapting to changing AI platforms. You may notice that there's a new app for the BoldTrail system called Streams, and Streams is available for download on every device now. And it's a great way to have your CRM in your pocket. Very similar to how the CRM would look if you were logging into a computer. But this way people can access it on the road. I like to think of it as if you ran into somebody at a grocery store and you got to chatting and they were asking questions about the real estate market and you wanted to follow up. I know myself, and if I don't write something down, I will forget it immediately. And with Streams, I don't have to now write that down in my notes app and then later on remember to put it into my CRM. I can do it right on my phone. And I can do it all through the Streams AI platform, which all you have to do is really talk to it like you would any of the Alexas or Google Home, anything like that, and it will do it for you, which is really cool. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about the marketing tools. It used to be marketing as a service, which was great, and they've now updated that to the marketing studio. So we're going to have a whole session on that and really get into how those tools can be used for online marketing, in-person marketing, listing presentations, all of that. So it's going to be a really packed 7 weeks, but today we're going to start nice and easy and just look at your individual profiles, okay? This I like to keep in here because people are always asking me, well, what tool do I use for what task I want to do? So we are going to be sending this presentation out, but if you do want to take a picture of anything on the slides today, I highly recommend this one. So you can see here the subcategories in the technology are prospect, generate leads, convert leads, service clients, and marketing. And all of that tells us the exact steps that we need to look at in our tech stack. So for prospecting, we need to be utilizing our CRM, our lead engine tools, our socials, our marketing studio, our open house app, client reviews, market updates. Now, if you did spend all day learning to do all these things, then your job would be less of a realtor and maybe more of an online presence person. But you at least want to have 3 from every category that you're working with. 3 pillars seems to be able to get people out there in front of their clients, their future clients, their past clients, to have people remember your name and call on you when they need real estate services. So let's dive into the technology. So you may have heard that as of October 30th of this year, Max Center will be fully replaced by Skyview. So currently when you log into your remax.net account, this is what comes up. And for anyone that's ever logged into ChatGPT or Claude or anything like that, you'll recognize the dashboard a little bit. All AI dashboards seem to have this entrance, let's say, and which is really great. And it really prompts you to start a conversation. So Remax came out with their proprietary AI technology called Skyview. And it's AI powered where you can go in and start a new chat, a new conversation with Skyview, and it's all based on the Remax tools that are offered. So what that means is if I am going into my remax.net and I'm going into Skyview and I'm saying, I have an open house coming up this weekend. How should I prepare? It's not necessarily going to give you every single tool that's out there. It's only going to give you the tools that are within your Remax tech stack, which is great for anyone that wants to utilize these tools. And I think you should. We're all paying for them, so we should use them. But I don't want you guys to go in thinking that it's going to give you all of the resources that something else would, like a ChatGPT or a Gemini. So I actually have mine open. So if you do have a device, I do encourage you to follow along. So I went to remax.net. And after you log in, this is the screen you're going to see. So again, very similar to the slide deck, where we have the AI sign in, the new chat, we can ask Skyview anything. And it does have opportunities for us to ask certain subjects. So for example, Remax and Canva came out with a partnership recently. We could click on Canva and ask about that. We could ask specifically about social media post ideas, which are great. Or if you're not ready to make the switch, you'll see the Legacy Max Center button at the top, and you can click on that and it will welcome you back to Max Center the way that you would probably recognize it, okay? So now I'm gonna try to go back into Skyview here and let's look around. So on the left here, we have the new chat feature. So we're in the new chat now, which is great. Then we have the dashboard. So your dashboard also may open up on the homepage, and this is your daily home base for all of the announcements coming out of Remax and any of the apps that you choose to favorite. So for example, the 2 that I would normally favorite are your BoldTrail app and your Canadian agent portal, which we will get to when we get to apps and tools. So from here, you can see any announcements coming from Remax. For example, the Remax Real announcement or anything about the industry that could help you create content, help send those articles out to your database. So this is a great place to get those announcements, those ideas for having conversations. And then on the left here, we go into apps and tools. Before we get into all of these, does anyone have any questions about the dashboard or the change to Skyview? We are going to do some examples within the Skyview AI that are pretty cool, so you guys can see how that works. But any questions so far? Okay, you can always throw them in the chat as well. So in apps and tools, we have tons of Remax apps that are all partnered with Remax LLC. So you see the Children's Miracle Network program, AdWorks, all of these things that Remax has coordinated with to give us the best. As I mentioned, there's a couple of them that I like to favorite because they're where I spend the most of my time. So Canadian Agent Broker Hub. So this is where you're going to find your Remax University, your tech training, your marketing, all of that. So if I click into here, I see Remax agents and brokers, what's going on events-wise, get the latest, and then they have these automated quick picks here. So like I said, marketing resources, learning and education, that's your RU set system, tools and resources, anything that you need Canadian-based is in here, which is really cool. So I highly recommend favoriting that one. I'm gonna go ahead and bookmark that. And then if I scroll down here, I'm looking for platform Max Tech powered by BoldTrail. So when I click into here, it opens up my BoldTrail account. And while we will get into the BoldTrail system, which is really cool, I just want to spend some time in Skyview or Max Center, as some may call it, and we'll finish up there. So those are your apps and tools. I highly recommend going in here, seeing what's new and exciting within the apps and tools. There's a ton of resources that people are not utilizing. So when you do have time, just take a quick scroll down and see what apps are going to benefit you. On the left, back over here, we have the Find and Refer page. So this is where I know some branches have WhatsApp chats or Facebook groups, and you're asking about who has an agent here or here. You can always go in here and filter by location, find an office that you need in an area where a client is looking, and the Find and Refer is a really great area to do that. On the left, you have resources. So again, announcements, content hubs, any questions you have or articles that you've seen come out of Remax Canada, they're all going to be here, right? So the system itself is not that different other than Skyview. So let's go over to the new chat. So now I'm ready. I'm familiar with the Max Center and I want to start using Skyview. So I'm going to say I have an open house this weekend. How do I prepare? And if you have Skyview open right now, I do recommend either you can ask it the same question, you can ask it questions of your own, anything that you think maybe would help you. Maybe it's about Marketing Studio or anything like that. Try putting it into Skyview and see what it comes up with. You may have more questions or less questions after the fact, but like I said, leadership is always here to help you and answer any questions. Skyview is in its beta testing right now. So as you can see at the bottom here, Skyview beta is AI and can make mistakes. So I liked a quote that I saw recently that today's the worst day of AI related to tomorrow. So it's always getting better. It's always changing, but it is a good place to start. And we know that this tech is going to stick around at least for a little bit. So we do want to get familiar with it. So I asked, I have an open house this weekend. How do I prepare? Preparing for an open house is all about visibility and presentation. Here are the key Remax resources you can use to get ready for this weekend. So remember I had said Skyview does not include resources that are outside of Remax. So as you can see, it's stating that key Remax resources. If you are looking for other resources, maybe you have a Mike Ferry coach or anything like that, those resources are not necessarily going to be in here. But from here, I can see that, okay, the resources include Marketing Studio, Remax Hustle, Photify, Remax News and Reports. And why is the AI telling us to use these things? Well, Photify, for example, is access to ready-made social media templates, stickers specifically designed for open houses. Remax News and Reports, it's prompting me to check out the National Housing Report for my area so I can confidently talk about local market trends with visitors. And at the bottom here, it's actually asking me, would you like me to draft a social media caption that you can use to promote this open house? So this is a really good starting point. A lot of the tools we have are simply that, they're just tools. They're not being put into action by anyone other than ourselves. So we want to make sure that this is either a starting place or an additional tool. This is not necessarily the personal assistant that some people are looking for, but it's always great to save you time. So let's say yes. Please draft a social media caption for 23 Main Street. I would love to know what other fake addresses people use, because I feel like I always come back to 123 Main Street. Okay, so option one, professional and inviting, best for Facebook.
Michelle, I have a question. You did not write down the city. How does it recognize it? Which city you're looking for? 23 Main Street. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, so this is not necessarily looking for that address. This is just doing what you tell it to do. So as we can see here, it's just going off the fact that I'm hosting an open house this weekend at 123 Main Street. So in here it says 123 Main Street, insert date, insert time. Come to our 123 Main Street this weekend and see this beauty in person from the, and then mention a key feature like spacious kitchen or backyard oasis. So when we see these brackets, that means that this is asking us to insert it ourselves. So it's not necessarily pulling the exact location, it's just doing a general idea for you to utilize yourself.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, good question though. And then once you have your date and time set, you can drop this copy into Marketing Studio to create a branded graphic to go with it. And it then prompts you to open the Marketing Studio. So Skyview is really meant for if you are new to any of the Remax tools, or you've never used the Remax tools. Maybe you've been with us 5, 10 years and you haven't felt like you've used these tools to the best of your advantage. This is a really, really good place to start, instead of kind of fumbling around the system looking for something to help you. I think this is really great. I've been with Remax for a couple months now, and I know that there's so many tools within their system that it can be hard to keep track of everything and kind of know where to go. So I definitely use Skyview to the advantage of this, which has been really great. Highly recommend you taking some time, ask it your own questions, understand that it is still being beta tested, so mistakes can happen. But like I said, it's more so about general information and finding what you need. So that's the biggest change in the remax.net account. But now that we have gone through that, I want to talk about the remax.net profile that everybody has. So going back to the beginning here, remax.net, on the top right corner here, you have your profile. And in here, you can see any type of award progress, and you can click into your profile, change your settings, get help from support if something's not working, and obviously pay your bills. But we're gonna go into profile. And in here, you're going to see general information about yourself and your office. So if you are following along, this is where you would click into your profile and see your profile overview. So over here, you can go in to edit this profile, but I always recommend just going step by step, just checking to make sure that you have everything you need. So on the left here, you're gonna have general information, contact info, photo, professional details, personal details, MLS affiliation, and awards. So we're gonna go one by one. So general info, name and title. So your name and title is inserted into the system, usually by your branch administrator who's ever putting you into the system. The one thing I want everyone to take into consideration is where it says business type. This field is more so for other provinces, not specifically Ontario. They put this in here because in other provinces, you can market your personal real estate corporation name. In Ontario, you cannot. So if if this was my profile and I saw here that under business type, it said professional real estate corporation or incorporated, I would want to change that immediately because that's actually a RICO violation to be advertising your personal real estate corporation. So I want to make sure that no one sees that. And if you do, you could go into edit, click under business type, and you can either click standard or you can click anywhere around there to remove the personal real estate corporation. And you want to click save. And it should have a green banner across the top anytime you save. Demographics, again, this is inserted when the brokerage or the branch gets your information, and that is inserted for you. So really the only thing I want you to take into consideration is that your name and title are accurate and you're being advertised properly. Next is contact info on the left. So your emails. You'll see the first one is actually an ISP email. So what that means is that's the email inbox. Your remax.net email is not an inbox. It's just a forwarding email. So emails can be sent from it, but to receive that email, you have to have an inbox that it goes to. The only issue with this is that generic emails like Gmail, Outlook, and AOL, sometimes they do not work in the system. So for example, in this one, I could not use my @gmail.com. So I would have had to make a new domain. You will still be able to receive emails to your remax.net account. However, they will not filter into your actual mail app on your phone or your laptop. They will filter directly into the system, the BoldTrail system only. So you do get notified that you've received correspondence, but it's not always that quick contact that we like. So you want to make sure if you are able to put an ISP email in there, okay? The question in the chat is, can I send a picture of the MLS regarding the property so I don't have to fill out any spaces? Is this question for putting information into Skyview so it will make a graphic for you? Possibly. I'll come back. Yes, okay. I actually haven't tried that. That would be a really good thing for you to try and let me know if it works. It may be able to scan the photo and insert that information, or at least a link to the MLS. Yeah, definitely something to try. So under emails, we then have web and social media sites. So the biggest question that I get is why on the BoldTrail system, people cannot edit this information. And that's because most of the information in your BoldTrail profile is being pulled from your remax.net Max Center profile. So this is where you want to insert any of your social media handles, your website, anything like that. I will urge people to always double check that these links work. If you've done an audit with me or you have one coming up with me, I check all this stuff for you, but do this because I know, so for example, this LinkedIn link, it would no longer work because that's not my handle anymore. So when people click on my Remax profile and they click on my LinkedIn from that, it's not going to take them anywhere. So I have to now go in and change that. If you've changed your name on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, your username, your name, these all need to be updated. So you always want to make sure that you're doing that. And then adding or taking away any that you are using or not using. Your phone number. So I had this question recently on why is someone's calling me to my Remax BoldTrail number, but I'm not receiving the call on my phone. And that's because it only works if you have your mobile cell phone number in here. If you only have the main office number in your Max Center account or your remax.net account, then people calling your office number, which I will show you in BoldTrail, it's not going to work. And that's a shame because that's the phone number that people may see on your BoldTrail. And especially the phone number that if you are meeting people through Facebook Marketplace or online leads and you don't want to give them your direct phone number, you can give them your BoldTrail number. And I know a lot of people want to do that now, especially because of scam calls and everything like that. But we want to make sure it's all set up properly in our own profile. So really important to have that mobile cell phone number there if you are marketing and sharing that BoldTrail number. Your photo is pretty self-explanatory. I'm guilty of not updating my photo. This is from probably 2 or 3 years ago. And the one before that was like 5 years ago. So I am definitely with some of you in that. But you always want to make sure you have at least a picture of yourself on here. Again, there's a lot of either scams or agents that are kind of just on the sites. They have no headshot, and a lot of consumers don't like that. They don't think it's trustworthy. They may even think that you're retired or something like that. So you want to make sure you have at least something on there, okay? Following the list down to professional details, there are some things that you can change in here under your specialties and licenses. But again, a lot of this is added at a branch level. I do recommend adding to your distinctions. So if you click on this edit button here, there's so many types of distinctions. Senior accredited sales agent, certified luxury home marketing specialist, all these things that you guys work really hard for, so you want to market them. And sometimes people are searching based on these things, so you want to have them on your profile.
Michelle, I have a question.
Yeah.
Regarding the distinctions, regarding the awards. My question is that if somebody work in the other company like a Senji 21 or XYZ Royally Patch and they got the some award over there, so they can put it in there or not?
Probably not in distinctions because they're really all based on industry level distinctions. So if your brokerage had 100% club or an executive club or something that they were promoting, then the distinctions area wouldn't be the place to put it, but we would put it in your personal bio. So we're going to get to that when we get to personal details.
Okay, so whatever we receive in Remax, that we can put it there, right?
At a Remax level, at a Canadian real estate level, TREB level, anything like that, those would all be in here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. The office service areas are based on the office that you are a part of within Remax. So we want to skip ahead and go to additional service areas. And this is where you can add in your specific areas. I highly recommend doing this. Again, people are now searching for specific area realtors, Southeast Oakville realtor or Port Credit realtor. So you want to make sure that you have these searchable words on your profiles. And any other commercial activities, so such as management or anything like that, commercial leases, if you do any of those. You just want to be as robust as you can when you're creating your profile. So we're going to go over to personal details on the left, and this is where you can do your personal bio. So for anyone that has met with me, I feel like I've given everybody the same spiel, and I should give it to myself because this bio is also not that new, or at least not as robust as it should be. And the personal bio should be looked at least once a year. There's always things you can add to it. Maybe you got an award, maybe your family has grown, something that will resonate with someone that is reading your bio. When we finish up here, I will guide you to where you can search for that personal bio handout, which is really, really cool. And then educational background, civic activities. These are all areas where you can add in information about yourself. Under hobbies, I've added snow sports, travel, yoga. These are all things that I enjoy doing. And I would love to work with consumers that also enjoy doing those things, because then I know we have something in common. Also, languages. This is on anyone that's new with us. I know we have a couple new agents on this call. So languages is actually something that is asked during the intake. on your Remax forms, but if it's not in here, I highly recommend adding that as well. I was just on a call yesterday where an agent actually has an Instagram account that's all in English and an Instagram account that's all in Persian. And her Persian account is actually getting her more business around the GTA than her English account. So I highly recommend if you can lean into the languages and work with your culture, your family, your friends, then do it. Next is MLS affiliation. So again, this is set up at a brokerage level. The part that is not is in your BoldTrail account. So we'll get to that after. And really the last thing is awards. So this is where you can see any of your award history. This is all stuff that I get to see as an admin, but you would simply see the award history and any awards that you have. And all of those details about awards or previous awards with brokerages can go in your bio 100%. And then to get back to Skyview or Max Center, you can just return to Skyview in the upper right corner here, and that's your Max Center account. So a couple of key things in there that you do want to note: adding that mobile cell phone number, not advertising your prec, ensuring your bio and your photo are all updated. Those are really key things, okay? So now that we've finished that, we're gonna hop over to BoldTrail. So you can either get to BoldTrail. I have mine bookmarked on my Google, but you can get to it through the apps and tools in the Skyview/Max Center account. Going to apps and tools here and looking for it, or in the top right corner here under apps. And those would be all the ones that you favorited, okay? So I'm gonna hop over here, and this is what you see when you log in. This is your dashboard. So we are gonna go through kind of all the things on the left-hand side during the 7 weeks that we're doing this. But today we're gonna talk about a bit about the dashboard and your profile. First thing you're gonna see is the advertisement for streams. That's the app, and I do highly recommend you download it. Super easy to download. It's free. It connects right to your CRM here. And play around with it. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Next is today's objectives, playbooks, and system training, really prompting you to get familiar with the system, prompting you to either promote a listing or work on your sphere of influence. Talking to people, their sphere of influence gives them about 80% of their business if they're really, really working their database. So I highly recommend you go into that. Scrolling down to your dashboard. So over here, you have your activity, your tasks. I have no tasks, your calendar, and your business. So first thing that's going to come up is activity. So any of the leads that are in your system, whether they're new leads, they're leads that have been on your website, viewing listings, anything like that. If you've created anything for them, which we will get into next week, then that activity would all be here. I gotta give a shout out to my boyfriend, who I put on like 17 different things for example purposes. Every day he's getting messages being like, Michelle sent you this. But this is what you see here is he's going in, he's viewing the listings on my agent website, and the system is then telling me, okay, this lead has viewed a listing, or this lead received a market report, or a presentation was created for them, a listing presentation. So you want to make sure that you're clearing or attending to all of the activities going on your dashboard, because that's where business can come from. The next thing I would do after seeing this is, okay, Spencer's viewed a listing, call him up, send him a text message. Hey, I saw this listing, or I saw that you clicked on this listing at 348 Wheat Room Drive in Oakville. Is there any questions that you have? This one has a pool very similar to the one we saw, or the one you purchased 5 years ago, whatever the relationship is like. So this is all areas to provide you with information, reasoning to reach out to your database or any new leads that you get. So that is your dashboard, but I want to get into the profile now. on BoldTrail. So very similar to the Max Center Sky View, top right corner here, you have your profile. And you have your office phone number here and your remax.net email here. So a couple things to note about the Remax phone number, your CRM phone number. So at a brokerage level, everyone has the same phone number. And the reason is because it's the company phone number. However, my lead, Spencer Mellon, if he calls that phone number, Jenny's not going to get that call. Dwight's not going to get that call. And that's because he's in my system. He's my contact. So the only way that this becomes an issue is if me and Dwight have the exact same contact. So if he also has Spencer in his CRM, then what happens? Well, what happens is Spencer's call would go to the person who had most recently been in contact with him. So he may have been viewing my listing, but maybe Dwight called him yesterday. And if he called that number back, Dwight would get that call, not me. So that's the only way that this becomes an issue. And when I tell you this has maybe come up once, and certainly not in the times I've used a system like this, which has been in the last 4 years. So don't let that deter you. It is a very smart system, especially if you're using it for your own sphere or new leads, okay? So this is a phone number that you are more than welcome to market. As I said, some people don't want to market their own phone number, but you can market this one and you will receive the calls as long as your phone number is in your profile. So we're actually going to go into my profile now. Does anyone have any questions about the office number? I know the first time I learned about this, I had so many questions. Okay, I think we're good for right now.
Basically, you mentioned there would be the office number, right? Not your personal number in here, right? So if somebody call that number, it will go automatically to me, right? You mean like that?
Correct. Yep.
Even though they are calling the office number, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, so this is also referred to as a smart number or a company number. And everyone has the same one. So yours will also be 647-492-9886. But as long as the person is in your database, then you will receive that call to your direct cell phone.
So our number, I think 3434 ends with, I think so.
So, okay, so that's the office number of the brokerage. So that's the front desk. So this phone number here is within your BoldTrail account only.
Oh, it's separate, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So then we're going to hop over to the profile here, and I'm going to click my profile. And if I click edit profile, you'll see a lot of these areas are grayed out. That's because those are the areas that are only customizable in your Max Center Sky View account, okay? So you can add additional things. You can choose whether to show them on your site or not. Maybe you just want to have your cell phone in here for calling purposes, but you don't want to advertise it. Your email account, that's your remax.net that you set up when you originally got your BoldTrail account. And then your vanity email address. So this is the ISP email address that we were talking about before. And the other reason it's very important to add this, other than it being the only inbox you have, this also kind of helps prevent emails from going into spam. Now, I have had it where maybe my Gmail has ended up in someone's spam. I got someone's Outlook email going into my junk the other day. It's very one-off, but if you are only sending emails from your remax.net, there's a good chance that those would go into spam. So you want to be adding that vanity email address, okay? And if you click on the little lowercase I button, it will explain to you what that is, and you can click there to learn more, okay? I have checked off use vanity email address for email replies because that's the email address that I have on my business cards and everything like that. Website, some people have a different one than the Remax one that you're given with BoldTrail. So I want to make sure that that's up to date. All of these social media, spoken languages, that's all in your Max Center account, okay? About me, again, this is your bio. The one thing that is very customizable here only is your email signature. So when you are sending out emails from BoldTrail, maybe you're using the email campaigns or you're using it to directly communicate with new leads, then you want to make sure you have a professional email signature in here. As you can see, I do not. I am slacking. But in here, you can simply click into the box and you can type out your email signature. You want to make sure that you have your name and title and the name and title of your brokerage. So mine is Michelle Gilmour, salesperson, and my brokerage title is Remax Realty Specialist Inc. Brokerage. So in here, you can edit it to basically anything you want. If I click in here, it's kind of like a Word document where you can edit the font, you can select different colors. You just want to make sure you highlight what you're changing. Really do anything I would like in here. And I can also add direct links. So maybe someone uses a Linktree account or you want to advertise your website, you can do that in here as well. You can add images. So for example, I want to insert an image and I want to click upload and I'm going to browse for an image. And I want to open up the Remax balloon. So let's open that up. Okay, and I'm going to save that, and that is way too big. So I'm going to click back into the photo here, and I can actually change the width and the height. And I'm going to guess here. So it's 400. I think it's too big, so I'm going to bring it to 200. That's still a little big. So I'm going to make sure that it's highlighted blue. I'm going to click on the photo, and I'm going to go down to 100. And that's better. There we go. So now I can either type before, I can type after. Maybe I want to have it underneath. Maybe you have a banner or a graphic that you have from your social media person or from yourself that you want to add in here. So you can really customize it. You just want to make sure you have the titles in there, okay? Remax Realty Specialist.
That signature can we put on our private emails or not?
Yes, if you like you want to put this signature on your own personal email.
Yes.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. It just depends on what system you use. So for example, I use a Gmail account. So yes, I've gone in and I've done the exact same thing on my Gmail account.
So how do you transfer this one, and it will show up all the time when you create a any message on the email? How does
Yeah,
it work?
so you would either make the email signature in here or within your Gmail account, and you just copy paste into the email signature setting here on your BoldTrail. And then if you wanted to do it on your Gmail account, it's very easy. They have tons of YouTube videos about how to do that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to search it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then under here as well, they're for information purposes only, so I wouldn't worry about adding as much information down here. They're not going to be displayed anywhere, okay? The main thing I want you guys to do is ensure that you have your agent MLS ID number in here. Remember I said the DDF, that MLS affiliation was already set up in Skyview? Well, the MLS ID might not be. So we want to make sure that you are adding your MLS ID by looking up your ID. So if you look up MLS information, you can add in your MLS ID. You can either manually add it, or your live listings will come up and you can say, yes, that's me. And it will forever pull any MLS information from that number, okay? So you want to make sure you have that one. You also want to add another one. So sometimes what people forget is you also have a CREA number. So I'm going to show you the trick on how to find that number. So I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to search my name, Michelle Gilmour, Realtor. So in my realtor.ca profile, I'm going to click on here. It's going to load. And then you're going to see in the URL here, there's a number, 2225021. And I'm going to copy this without any of the slashes. And that is my CREA number. So this is something I just learned recently. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're also adding that into the system, okay? And you can either find it or save it. You would have to have realtor.ca listings for this to come up. In the meantime, you can simply have your Trev one, okay? Or whatever board you're with. Most of us are with Trev. And then if everything is up to date, you want to click save. As long as you did everything right, it should save properly. Guess I should probably take that out. And now it's saved successfully, okay? The settings option is also on the right-hand side here. So in here, you can check out the lead privacy. So everyone is automatically set up to have private leads. The only leads that the company can see are the ones that we give you. We're paying for them, so we can see them. Those are coming from remax.ca, from remaxrealtyspecialist.ca, anything like that. But your own sphere, your private leads, anything like that, we can't see any of that. But to double check, you can go into your agent settings and check on the lead privacy, okay? Lead routing, as mentioned, remax.ca is always giving us leads, and they are funneled to everybody. So I might get one on Tuesday, and then Jenny would get one Thursday, Dwight would get one Wednesday, whatever it is, right? So if you are going on vacation, this is a great opportunity for lead routing to put that you're on vacation, that you're not able to access your phone, because then you're not missing out on business, right? Daily call creation. So you can say, I want to receive calls from only my sphere, or I want to send emails or anything like that on specific days. You can also include the weekends. This is all kind of saved for you. You're in Canada, that's great. Daily emails go out at 8 a.m. So if you have email campaigns set up, they come out at 8 a.m. You can always change that. Holidays, what holidays do you celebrate? I'll pick a few, and then I can save that, and that goes directly to what we're going to talk about on, I believe, the third week, which is the email campaigns and holidays and anniversaries and stuff like that, which is really cool. So this is an easy way to set that up. And then once you're done there, you can go back to your profile or to your dashboard, and you can now sleep peacefully knowing you've set everything up accurately. So this live drive session was really meant to start everyone at the right spot and answer any questions that I seem to be getting a lot of. I seem to be getting repeat questions about why I'm not getting calls, or how the smart number works, my MLS, how is that set up? How can I change things on my profile? So I want to make sure that everyone's on the same page, so as we continue to move forward, we're all set up for success. So that's my presentation for today. I'm always available to chat afterwards. You guys should have all my contact info. If you don't, it's all online, you can look it up. And I'm happy to answer any other questions, book one-on-one sessions. And unless there's any questions, then that's all for me today.
One question before you even it's a out of context. The message board, right, which we receive every day in the morning, right, and
Yep.
sometime we receive a open house kind of thing. So we can give directly back on that message. How does it work?
Oh, so yeah, so the MCS board is what you're referring to. That's where we get brokerage messages and what's cooking and stuff like that. Usually an agent will leave an email or a phone number in um the comment section
Yeah,
of
but
their.
in one case I couldn't find the number, and I tried to get into the person, but I couldn't. So what is the
Okay,
way?
so
Mm.
yeah, so in that instance, you can always call one of the offices and they will have contact info for that person. So you can call any of the Remax Realty Specialist office and they can give you their contact info.
But we cannot directly reply on that message board. No.
No, I believe there's a stipulation on that email that they no longer offer that service to reply
Okay.
directly to that person. I could be wrong. Jenny, do you want to correct me if I'm wrong?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. Hey, I'm Jenny from Calvin office. But if you have the access to your MCS, you can directly log into MCS and look for the messages in that section. For example, when you go into MCS, there is a particular section where you send messages out, and all the previously sent messages would be there as well with the contact information if you ever want to reach out to those people.
Okay. Okay. So we have to log in MCS, right? Mm.
Yeah, log into MCS in the messages section. There will be other messages that were sent out later in the evening or like earlier.
Mhm.
You can always click on it and get more information about the individual who sent the message.
Oh, and then contact the person, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Thank you.
much easier.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
Perfect. Thanks, Jenny.
Okay.
no problem.
Anyone else have any other questions? They don't have to be about what we talked about today. No?
Yeah, that's a good
Okay, well,
session. Definitely.
good.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, guys, for joining. This was recorded, so we're gonna share this with everybody. And any resources that we talked about, those will be shared as well. So, for example, the PowerPoint or the Build Your Bio kit, anything like that, those will be sent out as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys, if not before, then definitely next week, same time, and to learn more things like everything to do about your contact cards in your CRM. So it'll be a good one. Practice those Skyview questions, set up your profiles. And like I said, if you have any questions, we're always available. So
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.